Hello and welcome to the Aerobic Edge podcast. I'm Joost, your coach over at Pacebuddies, and today we're talking about the topic why generic running programs fail. Do you know that feeling? You found the perfect running plan on the internet. Maybe you were looking for a sub 2 hour half marathon because you thought that would be your next goal. But halfway that running plan, you're starting to feel a little too tired and you're starting to wonder, this plan wasn't made for me and it's just a little bit too hard. Or the opposite can be true as well, it can be a little bit too easy. Well, that's the topic we're going to discuss today. Why we at Pacebuddies follow the rule no cut and paste programs. But of course, a training schedule you found can be adapted. But how do you do that? How do you adapt a plan to your life, to your needs? Not once a year, but every single week. Well, let's see. What's the problem with generic plans? Well, there are a lot of plans on the internet. And we try to follow them as good as we can. But those plans aren't built for us. But the problem is, if you follow the plan and you think it's a bit too hard, I can't reach this, you may be starting to wonder, maybe I'm just not a good enough runner. Well, here's the point. It's not you. It's the plan. The plan wasn't written for you in the first place. The plan was built for the typical runner. Well, you know that runner, the runner that doesn't exist, the runner that has perfect sleep, perfect recovery, no life stresses, no children, nothing to worry about but running. But hey, that's no one. We all have those life stresses. Well, that's problem number one. It's too generic. The second problem is that no two runners are the same. And even in the life of one runner, no 2 weeks are the same. Everything can change in a few days. Maybe you get sick. Maybe you have to work overtime at work and have more stress. Maybe your kids got sick and you didn't sleep well. Training isn't a simple calculation. Training is biology. And biology responds to context. Context like sleep, stress, nutrition and recovery. So stop comparing yourself with a running plan that wasn't really built for you in the first place. But start listening to your body. Listen to the little signs that a plan should be flexible and that you should adjust your plan. Because if you don't, you can break instead of the plan. So let's talk about a few simple tweaks we can do to a running plan. Maybe your running plan says, well, Tuesday is a hard session. Maybe thresholds or intervals. And on Thursday there's a tempo run. Okay, that should be doable. There is 48 hours in between. Okay, you could be recovered from the first session on Tuesday. But like we said on Wednesday night, your kid got sick and you didn't sleep. What are you going to do? Are you going to follow the plan and stick to the plan because it says Thursday threshold run? Well, you're going to enter that run tired, fatigued. You're not getting the proper stress recovery and adaptations from that run. So it's best to alter the plan. Maybe push it back a day. Do an easy run on Thursday or even just a rest day. You can't rush biology and a plan is too fixed to take account of those life stresses. And like we discussed in the previous podcast, recovery is training. It's not something we should be ashamed of. Recovery is essential because without recovery we won't get the adaptations we are after by training. So, point 1. Use your own feedback. How did you sleep that night? How was your stress levels this week? How did your legs feel? Were they heavy and tired? Well, maybe make it a recovery run. But you also have some other biological feedback, and it's probably on your wrist. How was your morning resting heart rate? How was your HRV? And those are perfect indicators that your body may be under stress, and you should adapt your schedule to it. There can also be other factors why we need to adapt our plan. We might think it's all about the miles. We just chase miles and workouts. But your body doesn't care. It doesn't know the difference between a stressful workday or a run. It's all stress. So if you slept bad last night, or you did have a lot of stress at work, your body is under stress. Adding another run to it, well, that could be a recipe for overtraining. So we need to watch those factors as well. We need to watch our sleep. For instance, how long are you sleeping? Well, it's a good question because it's essential for our daily life and for training. If you're sleeping 4, 5, or 6 hours on a regular basis, that's too little. We need to aim for at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Sleep that isn't interrupted. It's a continuous, deep sleep. Sleep isn't wasting our time. It's essential. Maybe we feel if we woke up a little bit earlier in the morning, maybe at 5 a.m., then we can push that training a bit earlier and we have the rest of the day to work or take care of the kids. But if that's going to take sleep away, you're taking adaptations away. And that sleep is not optional. We need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. So have a look at your sleep data. Are you sleeping enough and are you sleeping well? That could be one of the first steps to improvement. Adding maybe just an hour of quality sleep will make a big difference in your training and in your overall stress levels and of course in your energy. Another stress we put on our bodies is our strength training. Strength training is essential for good running and it should be a part of your training, but we can overdo it. Think of it like this. Your strength training is another stress factor on your body. Yes, you need proper strength to run, but after a strength session you also need the recovery and the adaptations. When we do a very hard strength session, we need 24 hours to recover. So if we do a run in those 24 hours, maybe just a few hours after, we're taking away adaptation and recovery from the strength session. So strength has its benefits, but it has its downsides as well. If we do too much strength and too much running, that's also a very good recipe for overtraining and being over fatigued. One thing I give my athletes at Pacebuddies is a minimal strength plan sessions. These are sessions to activate the glute muscles to become glute dominant in running. This really helps taking the effort down in your running. And those sessions can be short, about 10 minutes. We also do a challenge while brushing your teeth. It's something you do every day in just a few minutes. When you're brushing your teeth, stand on one leg and close your eyes while you're brushing your teeth. Hold your balance for 10 seconds on one leg and then switch to the other. It will teach your brain to activate your glutes and have a good posture. And all on one leg, what's very important for running. This is just a few minutes a day, but it's very good practice for a good form and being glute dominant. So the strength sessions we give at Pacebuddies is short. It's minimal, but it's just enough to help your training instead of going overboard and cutting on your adaptation and recovery time for training. Another strength session that we give our athletes is in the warm-up before a run. We do the lunge matrix. It's lunge, as the word it says, but it's a lunge matrix. So you go around in a circle. First, you go do a lunge forwards, then to the sides, backwards, and you come around again. Doing these before every session, just 7 in each direction, will have also effect on your strength training, on your strength in your legs, which also helps your running and your warm to begin the session. So all strength training within Pacebuddies is designed to help you be a better runner, but also not to get in the way of the recovery and adaptation from your running. Because if you're training too hard, you take away recovery and adaptations from your run. And that's something that we don't want to do. Okay, so these were the principles why we want to adapt our training plan. It's biology, so we check our morning heart rate, your resting heart rate, your HRV, your sleep quality, your life stresses. But then comes the practical part. How do we change our plans? How do we adapt our plan? Well, let's make it practical. Something you can do or start doing this week. Let's start with the SWOT analysis. What's SWOT, you may think? Well, most runners only look at their weaknesses. We see, okay, I think I'm too slow. I want to become a faster runner because I'm just too slow. Or your easy runs, you think, this is too easy. I should be running harder. But that's just one aspect of running. There are more. And that's the SWOT analysis. It stands for your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Let's analyze those 4 points. First, your strength. What is it that you're really good at in training? Is it, for example, your consistency? Are you really good at being a consistent runner? Because consistency is the most important aspect of training. Without it, we lose our fitness. Or maybe you have a really big aerobic base. You've been running easy for months and your base is really well developed. Well, that's perfect. That's a perfect base to build on. So write down for yourself, what is my strength? Okay, then weakness. What is our weakness? Is that maybe the last K in that 10K race? It felt so hard, your form was suffering, your pace dropped, and you think, our technique is it's not good. I need to work on my technique. Or is it maybe your tempo? Do you think, I'm running too slow, I need to be a faster runner? Or is it strength training? Maybe you don't do any strength training and you need to add it to your plan. Or you're doing too much. Be honest to yourself. What is my weakness and how can I work on it? And that is the next part of the analysis, your opportunities. Okay, you now know what is my strength and what is my weakness. So what am I going to do with those strengths and weaknesses? What will be the biggest opportunity for me to work on? That could be maybe sleep, like we discussed, adding an hour sleep extra. If we find that our tempo is feeling too hard, it might be that we're shufflers instead of powerful runners. We're hip dominant instead of glute dominant. So maybe adding hill trainings. We're going to do an entire podcast over hill blasts, how they help become more glute dominant and give you a really powerful stride. It will bring your effort down and make your pace faster. So that could be a problem. Maybe we're not glute dominant. But at the same time, with our opportunities, we need to be honest with ourselves. We can't go make a list with 20 opportunities we want to work out all in once. Opportunities should be 1 or 2. What's the best possible opportunity for me at this point? What will help me go further the fastest for now? And then you have a plan for your next opportunities. You can work on opportunity number 2, 3 or 4 in the coming weeks or months. This is the long game. It's not a race we win within a week. We want to keep building on our training and on our fitness. The next point in our analysis is threats. What is going to break us? Maybe we're injury prone. Maybe that knee niggle or our ankles. Maybe we do have a training plan, but it doesn't include any strength training. Or maybe it does include strength training, but it's not really tailored to what our threats are. Do you have a niggle in your ankle every time you return from your run? Well, maybe you need to do some strength training for your ankles, maybe some balance exercises or some plyometrics could help. We need to identify those threats that's going to stop us from running. We need to treat those threats before they got a chance to really stop us from running. So be honest again with ourselves and say, what is my threat? Is it an injury? Is it pressure from work? Well, maybe you can't do anything about your work, but maybe you can include some breath work every day for 5 to 10 minutes, just a moment for yourself to do some breath work and really come at ease. It will help with your life stresses. Or maybe it's your ego. I certainly know this for myself. If I do an easy run and it's just a bit stressful at work and I see my pace and my heart rate and I think, oh, this is just too slow. But that's just my ego talking. Put aside the ego and listen to your body. So now you have an analysis. You know your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats. You have this on paper or on your phone. Now that you know your SWOT analysis, take a look at your running schedule for this week. Does it match your SWOT analysis? Or is it too much or too easy? Maybe we're chasing miles too often and we need to do some hill training or other sessions. With this SWOT analysis you now have, you can adapt your plan every single week. So let's make this practical again. How do we do this in our training? Well, let's take a problem. It's Tuesday. Our running plan says 8 by 3 minutes of threshold work. But you're tired. You didn't sleep well, so what now? Well, we have 3 possible solutions, 3 knobs to turn on. First, intensity. Maybe we can lower the threshold to your 10-mile tempo. That makes it a little easier. Or maybe we can dial down the volume. Instead of 8 by 3, 5 by 3. But we can also add some more recovery between the reps. Maybe the plan said a 2-minute recovery. No, maybe you can make it a 3-minute recovery. Or if this all feels a bit too tinkering with the plan, maybe just postpone this workout for a day later. Go to bed a bit earlier this evening and start this workout fresh, on fresh legs. It's infinitely better to do key sessions on fresh legs and enjoy them and get the adaptation than rush through them. So if your week is getting out of balance, what do we do? Well, the key sessions, if they're not too much, if you're running 4 or 5 times a week, you have probably 2 key sessions in those week, maybe a long run and a tempo run. Try to schedule in those key sessions first. They will work on your strength, on your tempo, and sprinkle in the easy sessions in between. If you're tired, well, maybe swap the key session for an easy session and do the key session a little bit later. What should be your priorities each week? Well, you have different kinds of training runs. You have your key sessions, like a threshold run, or a tempo run, or a long run. Those sessions are really important. They help build you a better fitness. It builds your speed, for example. So try to put them in your schedule first. And then your easy runs. Try to sprinkle in those easy runs between all your key sessions, with at least 48 hours of space between the key sessions, so you are recovered for the next session. Are you really tired on a day there's an easy session? Maybe it's a 65-minute easy. Well, you can make it a little bit shorter to 45 minutes easy. It doesn't really cost that much fitness, but you still do your easy run. But listen to your body again. Maybe instead of an easy run, make it a recovery run or just a long walk. Listen to your body again. And if 1 week is really stressful and you just can't make it, you skip some sessions because you don't have the time, you're too stressed or too tired, don't worry. You won't lose your fitness in just 1 week. What you do get if you push through is get injured or burn out. So again, be flexible. If 1 week doesn't work, pick it up the next week. But don't go cramming all the sessions you missed in that second week, because that's also a recipe for burnout. Okay, so those were the rules about the no cut and paste plans at Pacebuddies. Looking at online plans, it can help if we know our bodies and if we know our SWOT analysis and we are able to do adaptations to our plans every single week. So don't go copying Kipchoge's plan because you want to be as fast as him. Look at your own strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats and build your own plan around you, your daily life and your work stresses. Because we're a family member first and a runner second. Training should fit your life and not the other way around. So adjusting your plan to your life, it's not a backup plan. In case something is going wrong, I'll have to adjust my plan. No, it is the plan. Your plan should be flexible and you should be able to adapt your plan every single week and sometimes even daily. You might think now, well, adapting my plan every single week or maybe even daily, that's going to be a lot of work. Well, it can be. It can be a lot of work to change our plans. And that's why a personal running coach comes in handy. Someone that has your back. You give your comments on your workouts. You tell to your coach, well, I have a busy week at work this week. I'm stressed or I didn't sleep well last weekend. What can I do? And your coach will be the person standing on the sidelines, watching your progress, watching your running plan, but also watching your daily life and adapt the plan to you, to fit your life, your circumstances, so you keep progressing without burning out. If that's something you are interested in, maybe check our coaching at pacebuddies.com, because we will adapt your plan every single time when you need those adaptations. That's it for today's podcast. I hope you've learned something useful today in this episode. Do you want a training schedule that really works for you? No cut and paste plans, but real personalized running coaching? Well, head over to pacebuddies.com and have a look at our training schedules and our coaching. And can I ask just one small favor? Do you think, well, I know a runner that could use this help? Could you maybe share this podcast to him or her? That way we can grow our community together. I really appreciate it. This was the Aerobic Edge podcast. I'm Joost, your coach over at Pacebuddies, and I'll see you on the next episode.